Ladies and gentlemen, live from the West Coast, it's time for Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
Hey, yo.
For over 30 years, and still, your inside look into boxing and mixed martial arts.
You know what? As long as she fights at 135 pounds, I don't care if she's injecting horse semen into her eyeballs.
Heard live around the world and brought to you by the World Boxing Organization. And now, live from the Ring Talk Studios in San Francisco, here's the host of the longest-running fight show in history, Pedro Fernandez.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the multi-million-dollar Sports Byline Studios in the city by the bay, San Francisco, California. The guy was correct with that lofty introduction, as my name is Pedro Fernandez, the often imitated but never duplicated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the radio airways, folks. Having defended the belt, get this, better than 35 years. And straight up today, the return of the Godfather. That's right, Larry Merchant returned from the 50th state. He returns from Honolulu, Hawaii. Take that back, Maui. Spent a week in Maui with his lovely wife, the Godmama. Of course, they were both back in lovely Southern California. So Larry's got a lot to talk about. And of course, fights last night. Triple G doing his thing as was expected. He rolled over a guy named Rolls, although we'll talk about that in depth. It wasn't that significant. The UFC rocking and rolling, pound for pound, the best fighter in the world, Henry Cejudo. I said that before he destroyed Martin Moraes last night. People laughed at me. 125-pounder, a world champion, 2008 Olympic gold medalist, a world champion at 125 pounds, and now the world champion at 135 pounds. After beating the champ at 125, the 35-pound champ, T.J. Dillashaw, tested dirty for dope. And then, of course, he comes back at 135 and beats Double M. Straight up, Henry Cejudo, the best fighter, pound for pound, in the cage right now. No doubt about it. So who's the best fighter, pound for pound, in the world of boxing? Andy Ruiz. I'm just joking. Bottom line is I think Vasyl Lomachenko is. We'll get into that in depth if you want to. I can fat shame Andy Ruiz myself because if you look at the Twitch broadcast, twitch.tv, the Sports Byline USA channel, you can see I've got a gut on myself. So if I'm fat shaming Andy Ruiz, I'm fat shaming myself as well. You are tuned to Ring Talk live worldwide on Sports Byline, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio Channel 211, of course, the great SportsByline.com network. Straight up, you're tuned to Ring Talk.
Under all conditions, you're mine all of the time. So wonderful, so marvelous, girl. You're everything to me, and you're super fine. I'm so glad you're mine.
Here comes the decision now. Let's listen.
Clarity in the world of professional boxing is spelled WBO. That's right, the World Boxing Organization is boxing's only transparent sanctioned body. You can follow the WBO on Facebook or check out their website, WBOboxing.com. This is WBOboxing.com. The World Boxing Organization.
Has done it! We have a new heavyweight champion in the world!
I was looking for a better way to check in on our house while I was at work, and a friend recommended Blink. I was skeptical, but decided to give it a shot, and I bought a Blink camera system. With our last security system...
false alarms, wires everywhere, and monthly fees we couldn't get out of.
My bad, but our Blink system is different. They're motion-activated cameras that work inside and outside. They're wire-free, easy to set up, and they run on 2 lithium batteries that last up to 2 years.
Total peace of mind. And Blink camera systems start at under $80 with no subscriptions.
We were on vacation, and I got an alert on my smartphone that motion was detected at our front door. I checked my Blink app, and I saw it was just my cool new device being delivered.
Hey, we agreed no new devices except Blink.
Just kidding. Not kidding.
With Blink camera systems starting under $80, home security just got easier. Go to blinkprotect.com/secure. 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 Blink is an Amazon company, and it works with Alexa.
We paid less for our Craftmatic today than we did 20 years ago.
If you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and free information on today's Craftmatic adjustable beds. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Rated #1 by consumers nationwide on ConsumerAffairs.com. Craftmatic beds come in all mattress types, including cool gel memory foam for up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand. Enjoy temporary relief of low back pain, poor circulation, nighttime heartburn, mild arthritis. You'll sleep better in a Craftmatic adjustable adjustable bed. So if you're still searching for the perfect solution to a good night's sleep, call now for prices and information. And then decide when you see how little they cost. Discover Craftmatic for less, up to 50% less than today's leading memory foam brand.
Call 1-800-371-9608. That's 1-800-371-9608. Call 1-800-371-9608. Call now.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
Ain't nothing stopping us now, baby. It's a 2-hour show. This is the Sunday edition of Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Of course, we take it from the city by the bay. Some call it the city by the gay. We'll take it from the city by the bay to, of course, Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada. And bring in the undefeated lad and talk about the great John Signorella. Johnny, quite a weekend of boxing.
Yeah, I tell you what, Triple G taking out Steve Rolls in the 4th round at Madison Square Garden last night in front of a crowd of a little over 12,000 people. And I tell you what, man, Steve Rolls, I've seen him in the past. He's a good boxer, decent kid, never really fought anyone, noteworthy, but showed good talent, especially, with a good body attack, a varied body attack in previous fights. But last night against Triple G, he was very timid and just could not get it going. Although he hit Triple G several times, I think Triple G understood that this kid was just nervous and scared at the big lights, the bright lights of Madison Square Garden and beautiful New York City, and just couldn't deliver, and Triple G sniffed that out, KO'd him round 4.
One word, choked. I mean, he just choked. I mean, the guy had some good physical attributes. He was bigger. I mean, he had nice muscle mass to him. You know what I'm saying? He had a couple of inches in reach, this and that. And he was able to tag Golovkin on a couple of occasions, but he was wearing gloves. Golovkin's gloves look like bag gloves, John. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Golovkin's gloves look like bag gloves. Hector Martinez called them bag gloves because all the padding is somewhere either in the thumb or the wrist, because none of it's in the glove, the fist part of the glove. Those are like bag gloves, and the other guy's wearing white pillows.
Yeah, they look like pillows. Those white gloves look gigantic last night. And I was watching the fight with my girlfriend last night. She commented on that immediately. She's like, those gloves look huge. I don't think it would have mattered at the end of the day. I think Steve, if he had let his hands go a little bit, there was a disconnect, a mental disconnect with his body and his head. Physically, he looked the part, like you were saying, with his shoulder mass, and he looked like a big kid in there, and we know he's got good skill. You saw the skill a little bit. You saw him attempting the body. You saw him throwing a somewhat decent jab, but I think it was a nervous jab, like a, hey, Triple G, please get off me type of jab. But there was a total mental disconnect in that fight for him, and I think if he was able to relax and had more experience at the big dance, he would have done a little bit better, but he suffered his first loss last night, and we see what's in store for Triple G next.
Well, Triple G, after the fight, he sounded as if he beat Muhammad Ali.
All right, here's the man of the hour. Everyone that's been waiting for. Let's give a big hand to the people's champion, Triple G. Gotti, you want to come up here, or you want to sit?
It's better like this.
Sit there? Okay. So,
too official for me. Come on.
Why don't, if you want to say a few words, Gennady, how was your experience working with your new team, with Jonathan in the training camp, and then how did you see that translate in the ring tonight?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. Thank you very much, all people who support me today, who come today, because it's good for boxing, not just for me, for boxing, because second step is much bigger. Thank you, my team. Thank you, Garden, family. Just thank you, my partners, everybody support me today. I feel great. Just my first win after my comeback. Very happy, smile all day.
Okay. The guy beats a guy that he's supposed to beat. Give him his props. The guy was a 25-1 favorite. He did him in 4 rounds. I guess that's, if it had went any longer, people would have been complaining. But the bottom line is, when you have an opportunity, when you get on the big stage, if you don't choke and that opportunity is there to win, if you have the physical attributes to win, I think you should try. Mr. Rolls last night got rolled. That's just the way to put it. Tell me about some of the other big fights of the weekend, Mr. Johnny Signorella.
Last night, WBO featherweight champion Oscar Valdez was in a firefight last night against previously unbeaten Jason Sanchez, and he got Oscar Valdez took a unanimous decision over 12 rounds and a nice fight. And I tell you what, this Valdez kid, man, he's got fast hands, feet. That left hook he was throwing last night, those straight right hands. And I tell you what, Jason Sanchez was unbeaten going in. I could totally see why. He put up one hell of a fight. I'd like to see him again in the future. But at featherweight, Oscar Valdez is definitely one of the top guys out there. Now 26-0, 20 KOs.
WBO champion. Speaking of the WBO, Francisco Vargas, El Presidente himself, Paco, is in Canastota, New York for the International Boxing Hall of Fame introductions for 2019. Just wanted to mention that. Now let's take it to the Ring Talk phone line. Let's go to Sarasota, Florida, and bring in Anthony. What's up, big time Anthony?
Yes, I have a question for both you and the guy you're talking to. Why is it that when they say the unanimous undisputed champion for any division, technically they have to have all 4 major titles. They only have 3. That confuses me.
It's a marketing ploy, isn't it, Johnny? It's like the belts are just marketing ploys to an extent. I mean, they sure do help a fighter get additional recognition and monies.
Yeah, I mean, unified is one thing. You have undisputed, which is another. You have a situation now that Andy Ruiz last week, for an example, took 3 belts from Joshua, right? So he's a unified champion. To become undisputed, he needs to get that last piece of the puzzle against Deontay Wilder, say, if they were to fight, or Deontay could scoop it up too, because it's like a 3 versus 1 belt swing. So Andy's got 3, Joshua's got 1. If they, link up and there's a knockout win or a decision win, one of those guys could scoop up 4, and that, to me, is undisputed.
And speaking of undisputed, pound for pound, we'll be hearing from Henry Cejudo a little bit later. Of course, now the world bantamweight champion of the UFC. Anthony, do you watch any MMA?
Yeah, honestly, my favorite MMA fighter of all time was Anderson Silva.
Okay,
Spider.
Yeah. And the Spider, but the Spider's so old, instead of 8 legs, he's got about 3.
Yeah, and that, honestly, my current favorite fighter is the middleweight champion now. I forgot his name. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You've got me stumped here right now. To Johnny?
Adesanya?
Yeah. Exactly. I'm not. You know what? The guy is. I'm telling you right. We'll talk about Henry Cejudo a little bit later, but straight up, Cyborg Santos is going to fight again pretty soon. Amanda Nunes is going to fight again. It looks like the women are going to start taking back some of the power they have in the UFC because the UFC lacks zip, I think, without chicks in the main event. All the best, Anthony. Thanks for the call. You are tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. This is Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Johnny, tell me about some of the other results this week. It was how can I put this? There were some fights on a couple different nights.
Yeah, there were. Friday night, we had a couple brutal ones, man. Zab Judah, remember him? Pro debut 1996 at 140, fought at 140 in 2019. No US TV on this one, but I caught it online somehow. And Selden took him out in the 11th round, and Zab Judah went to the hospital with a brain bleed, and it's time to hang it up, man. I like Zab. I go back with Zab a long time. I met him. He's a good kid, but, man, this is tough.
All right, well, here's what's up. Now, what hospital is he in? Do you know?
That I'm not sure about.
Because there's these hookers in Las Vegas that are still looking for him about planting that counterfeit money on him. Okay, so they want some of that money back. I told you that story, right? Where those girls were like screaming for Zab Judah. I said to myself, damn, these girls look pretty good. I want Zab Judah. I want Zab Judah. Yeah, well, they wanted Zab Judah because he had burned them out of some money, gave some counterfeit money in a sexual transaction, I guess the way to put it. All right. Am I wrong to think that Vasyl Lomachenko is the best fighter pound for pound? I want you to think about that for hour number 2, because right now I look at the top 10 pound for pound list, and I think of a guy that could fight in any weight class and with his skill beat any of the other fighters per se, and I think Lomachenko ranks up there. We'll hear what Johnny Sig has to say about that more in hour number 2. What else is up for hour number 2, Mr. Signorella?
We got to talk some UFC. Valentino Shevchenko last night, that head kick, man. Shin to the dome. That was one of the nastiest things I saw. And Henry Cejudo with his knees last night. Man, I tell you what, I was more excited about the UFC 238 last night than I was about boxing. Those last 3 events in the UFC main card, man, they delivered.
Yeah, and Tony Ferguson. So we'll hear from Tony Ferguson in hour number 2 here on, of course, Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Tony Ferguson, the former interim lightweight champion. Of course, it was the police were called to his house because he was pouring holy water on his wife. And I can understand it. Johnny can understand it. Scott Cuddy in the other room was pouring more holy water on women than you can imagine. Okay, I understand that. But not your wife, not in this instance when you're flipping out on whatever you are flipping out on. Anyway, Tony Ferguson, we'll hear from him pretty in-depth. Enrage and engage in hour number 2 of Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Open phone lines, coast to coast. You can join us just like Anthony did. 1-800-878-7529. That's 1-800-878-7529. Or the guilt-free, no-commitment text line. 4-letter words go. It's all right. 415-275-1613. Once again, 4-letter words. No. Once again, the text line, 415-275-1613. You're tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. A little Bump City to break with the mighty Tower of Power.
What's your rush, though, buddy? You say we slip in the back seat and make a man out of him.
What if I smack you around for a while?
Can't we do both?
Yeah.
Damn, y'all. The night's almost gone and we're still going strong. The party's been so hearty. I hope it doesn't show while I'm driving down the road that I had too much to drink. Down to the nightclub. Well, if you got the dough, the liquor will flow to the nightclub. Slide on a drunk.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Attention, this important consumer alert is brought to you by Annuity Action Network. Hey, did you know it's possible to receive upfront money from your monthly settlement payments? It's true. If you receive monthly payments from an annuity or a structured settlement and you need a lump sum immediately, then you need to call Annuity Action Network. With your cash today, you can pay off credit card debt, pay medical bills, fund your education, or improve your home. You don't need to wait. Call the Annuity Action Network now to get your fast cash with no hidden costs. And if you call today, we'll even send you a $100 cash gift card just for verifying your settlement payments and your contact information. If you have a structured settlement or an annuity and you want cash now, call Annuity Action Network right now.
800-514-9170. 800-514-9170. That's 800-514-9170.
Well, not quite a wink, but he flashes his eyebrows. He better throw his hands. The champ is in trouble. Look for an overhand right here, Brian. Joshua with the hard jab. Trying to answer, but he's shaking. He's down again. Wow. Joshua looks gassed. Mouthpiece came flying out of his mouth.
6, 7, 8.
He's been down 4 times.
Hey, turn around. You can.
Joshua turning to his corner. He's got to be careful here. He's got to stay engaged. Where is his mouthpiece?
Ready to box?
Joshua looks so tired. I think he wants out. That's it. He says that's it. Andy Ruiz is the heavyweight champion.
Shocking, stunning, call it what you want. Andrew Ruiz, the, I guess with this overweight young man, of course, had a stellar amateur background, 105 wins, 5 losses. The guy can fight, no doubt about that, but nobody picked him to win this fight against Anthony Joshua, 25 or 30 to 1 underdog. Bottom line was he did it. Got to give him props. Got to take away a little bit of the praise, I guess, we were given to Mr. Joshua. That being said, the Godfather Larry Merchant was in Maui, Hawaii, checking out the nice women over there with his godmother, of course, checking out. Godfather, they still give you the leis when you get off the plane? Is it still customary where they give you the flowers around the neck?
Well, when we got to the hotel, I think they gave one to my wife, Patricia.
Uh-huh.
But maybe Hawaii's getting a little bit more Americanized, and it is a part of America.
That's why I love to go to Colombia. Americans are scared to go to Colombia. They haven't ruined it like they have Acapulco and Mazatlan, and of course the aforementioned Hawaii. Enough of that. Were you? How stunned were you when you learned that Andy Ruiz had knocked out Anthony Joshua? It made Joshua basically quit standing up.
Well, I was in discussion with somebody I asked to let me know, and I think it was you, and you said that Ruiz 1-7, and I thought perhaps you were joshing me. And then I started to go inside the computer and found out that it was all true and got some of the details and then watched it in delay. And he won the fight. His punches hurt Joshua more than Joshua's punches hurt him. I had seen him fight several times in preliminaries and thought he was a talented athlete with quick hands, but that he was, as I described him, roly-poly. And I think I thought in the old days when I was a sports columnist, I would devote a column to all of the ways that have been used to discuss his look and his weight and so on and so forth. Much as I once did, as people tried to describe Nolan Ryan's fastball. But he's got the goods, and we'll see if he can sustain it. And it's interesting that here it is a week later. Golovkin has fought, also in New York, and we're still talking about the heavyweight fight. And there is indeed news, according to Dan Raphael of ESPN. It now appears that they're talking about bringing the fight back to New York, and that Joshua prefers to erase this stain on his record where it occurred, which is interesting if it turns out to be true. And, of course, if they fight in the wintertime, it's not a great time to fight outdoors in Britain.
Yeah, good point.
All the moving parts are happening, but here we are still talking about that terrific fight and amazing turnabout.
And you know what? I have to put it to you this way: if they were to rematch, and if they're looking at the first fight and looking at Anthony Joshua and realizing he doesn't catch all that well, and I would say that I would probably go with the fat guy to win the second fight. I mean, I hate to put it to you, I never. You and I talked a few weeks ago about pride and me having to make weight when I fought and things like that, and how dedicated you had to be. There were fat people take that back. there are large people who have been assaulting me verbally all week long because of the fact that Andy Ruiz won this fight. So it's obviously the exception to the rule, but I think that he'll beat Joshua if they were to rematch. Joshua just didn't show much, Godfather. 6'7", fighting small, fighting square. I mean, it was just boxing 101. He failed. If you were to go down the report card, he fought square. He fought with his legs bent. I mean, he didn't move to the right, away from the guy's right hand. All these different faults that he just went out there and was guilty of, and he lost. I just don't think he can make that up in a rematch.
Well, I watched the fight in a replay, knowing the result, and watching it in a kind of extra dimension. What could a rematch prove? What could Joshua do in a rematch to change the result? We know how Diaz fights. Just by crowding the bigger guy and throwing an occasional jab and slugging the body and throwing big overhand rights at the head. Now, it may simply be that the first and second knockdowns, which came as a shock in the third round, influenced the whole fight, and that Joshua never could pull himself together 100%. And if you're outlining the issues in the fight from the Joshua point of view, what he didn't do, what he should do, etc., well, I assume they'll know those things too if they're true, and he'll try to fight in a different way, or the right way for a big guy against a shorter guy, and we'll see the outcome of that. And if Joshua wants to bring it back to the U.S., that's a good sign to begin with for him. But I can't argue with your argument that you would bet on the fat guy. Excuse me to all those people who don't like the word fat, but everybody's just been using other words to say the same thing. I used to say Diaz was just roly-poly. Maybe fat people prefer that. I don't know.
I would say large-framed. There's all kinds of different ways of putting it.
Out of shape. But he kept coming for 7 rounds, and so you can't say that.
And he got up off the deck.
That, too. You know what? It was a hell of a fight, a big upset. Here we are talking about it. The heavyweight division is alive and well, and maybe moving on to a bunch of matches and rematches and maybe some trilogies. So I think all is well.
The heavyweight division, of course, I think is topped currently by Tyson Fury, undefeated so-called linear world heavyweight champion. Going to fight next week against another less than top 5 guy. I guess I don't know how to describe Mr. Schwartz. We'll talk about that after the break. The Godfather, Larry Merchant's in the house. Open phone lines around the planet. 1-800-878-7529. That's 1-800-878-7529. Of course, this is your inside look in the world of boxing and MMA. Ring Talk live worldwide, Saturdays and Sundays, 11 a.m. Pacific Time, live on Sports Byline, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM Satellite Radio, the Dan Patrick Channel, Channel 211, and a plethora of other internet platforms. Godfather, when I did the Tyson fights in the 90s, I remember I used to sit up in the stands with Dan Patrick at the fights, some of the De La Hoya outdoor fights as well. He had a lot of class, Patrick, a lot of class.
He's very good at what he does.
And, you know, the other guys who were standing around him, some of the Denver Broncos, the retired Denver Broncos who became sports broadcasters. I won't mention the name. Tom Jackson, I think, was the guy. He not the greatest guy publicly in the entire world, especially after drinking. Anyway, real quick, the Godfather will spend a few more minutes with us here on Ring Talk Live Worldwide. I got to ask you this, Godfather. Do you think does the world of UFC does it enter into your world at all? Cage fighting. Do you watch any of it?
Occasionally, when I'm flipping through channels, I come across something, but I seldom stay with it very long.
There's no interest in that at all? Are you just a boxing purist?
Basically, yes.
Okay, good enough.
I mean, if people are interested in it, good, and they find it entertaining and thrilling and moving and all that good stuff, well, I'm okay with that. But it just doesn't hit me that way.
Okay. The Godfather Larry Merchant in the house. You tune to Ring Talk Live worldwide on Sports Byline, iHeartRadio, Sirius XM, Satellite Radio, of course, the American Forces Network. The Godfather James Brown to the break.
Pedro, let me tell you something, man. Congratulations on your long time in radio. You are your team, and for your ratings, man. I was reading about that. I'm very impressed with you, Pedro.
When you kiss me, when you miss me, hold my hand, make me understand. I make up in a cold sweat.
Here comes the decision now. Let's listen.
Clarity in the world of professional boxing is spelled WBO. That's right, the World Boxing Organization is boxing's only transparent sanctioned body. You can follow the WBO on Facebook or check out their website, WBOboxing.com. This is WBOboxing.com. The World Boxing Organization.
Who's done it? We have a new heavyweight champion in the world.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780. Do you have a problem hearing the television? Do you need to crank up the volume so loud your family is screaming at you? Then put on your TV ears. TV Ears has helped millions of people just like you hear TV loud and clear without cranking up the volume. For about $60 with a 30-day free trial, you can get your own set of TV Ears. When you wear TV Ears, you can mute the TV volume for private listening or let others watch TV with you. Order in the next 10 minutes and take us up on our 30-day home trial and very special price. TV Ears is a brand hearing professionals have trusted for more than 20 years. And through this special radio offer, you can get your very own for just $60. Just mention promo code RADIO. So put on your TV ears and make everyone happy. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. That's 800-984-4207.
I love iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
Love it.
Everywhere, man. Seriously. Everywhere, man. 20 million songs from 450,000 artists. iHeartRadio.
Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota.
I create my own radio stations.
Millions of songs, thousands of stations, one free app. iHeartRadio is that easy. Download the app today or listen online at iHeartRadio.com.
Get past the people, get past the hitman.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
I am a little more impressed with you.
The Godfather Larry Merchant's in the house. Of course, next week, Tyson Fury and Tom Schwartz, both undefeated. Technically, of course, Fury with that draw against Wilder. And Fury says he's going to fight Wilder after this. Wilder says he's going to fight Fury after this. Are they both on the same page here, Larry?
Well, publicly they are. And you don't want to wait too long so that people forget how good the first fight was. They're making a few bucks in in taking some bring your own opponents type opponents, but I guess you can say that Joshua brought his own opponent, and look what happened.
Well, the first guy I picked, Jarrell Miller, of course, failed every drug test in the entire world. There wasn't a performance-enhancing drug that he didn't have in his system, Godfather. He tested positive for like 5 or 6 different things.
Not exactly a move to show how self-confident he was. He needed to have 5 guys fighting behind him.
Good point. Schwartz and Fury. Fury's the best personality maybe going in boxing right now. Am I wrong to think that or to say that?
I don't think you're wrong, but I'm not sure that that's come across yet to Americans. In Britain, he is certainly known as an extraordinary personality.
I mean, because as of late, he's been doing some pictures, in Speedos. The guy looks like a model now, not the fat 400-pound guy we saw a couple years ago.
Well, to his credit, he brought his weight back down to where it should be, and that shows his motivation and his intentions. I'm wondering if Diaz can take off.
Ruiz
can get back to or down to around 250, which I think would help him in terms of his quickness, in terms of his ability to go more hard rounds. We'll see where his head is when he checks back on in.
27-0 with a draw on 19 KOs. Of course, talk about the giant gypsy Tyson Fury taking on 24-0 Tom Schwartz at the MGM Grand next week. Of course, this will be on ESPN, I believe. Do you know anything about Mr. Schwartz? Does he bring anything to the dance besides that 0?
No, not that I'm not saying he doesn't bring anything. I just don't know about it, and I imagine that the heavyweight fight last week will be a part of the marketing of this fight. And when big guys get together, you never know.
Okay. Do you still talk to George? Do you talk to George Foreman and all your former broadcast partners? Do you ever talk to him on the phone?
Not really. There was some show we were doing, and I saw him and talked to him, and and have a certain affection for him as one of the guys I worked with and over the years, and covered both of his careers. But no, we don't have a personal relationship like that.
When he was early on, he won the Golden Gloves here in 1968 before going on and winning the Olympic gold medal. And he was a bit of a bully in the gym. I mean, he used to beat up on middleweights, things like that. There were 2 different George Foremans. There was the George Foreman before the metamorphosis, or when he saw God, or whatever it was in that Ron Lyle fight, when he says that he saw God was on his shoulder, something like that. Anyway, bottom line is 2 different guys, completely 180-degree different guys. Godfather, the first George Foreman was a bit of I'll just put it in one word. He was a mean guy, the first George Foreman.
Yeah, he was a street bully who believed that if you maintain that image outside the ring, it will have some impact on the fights you fight inside the ring. But to his great credit, after he came back from a 10-year hiatus, he showed another side of himself. I saw flashes of that side of himself years earlier, but and I watched him kind of closely, both as a colleague and him as a big public figure, to see if there was some phoniness to it, if there was something that was just a planned image. But I never could crack that. I never saw that. It was just a different side of George who got life through a different lens.
Okay. Jim Lampley, your other broadcast partner. You still talk to Jim once in a while?
We've communicated actually in the last week. He's got a big birthday coming up that I'll attend. He attended a big birthday of mine a couple of years ago. And I'm waiting for the news to fall about what he's going to do next. I can't believe that somebody doesn't want to use Jim Lampley in some capacity, but he's talked about going back to the University of North Carolina, where he attended, and
Tar Heel.
The Tar Heel. He's an old Tar Heel, and maybe have a class or two for a year.
Okay. I brought up George Foreman, and what I was leading into is this. You work with Roy Jones. You work with different boxers. Who do you think was the most insightful boxer you worked with as far as being a broadcaster?
Well, I worked with Sugar Ray Leonard, Roy Jones, and Foreman. Pretty good group right there. And, of course, Emmanuel Stewart. And
Goldfather.
And Stewart had insights both in terms of what's happening in the ring and what has happened outside the ring, because he had been a trainer and a manager and virtually a promoter. But inside the ring, I think, in a way, Roy Jones had the greatest capacity to anticipate stuff and point out stuff, good or bad. But I don't think he was a great communicator. George was the biggest personality, and people liked him no matter what he said. And we had some fun back and forthing. And Sugar Ray Leonard was just the good guy everybody thought they knew, and had some responses to what goes on in the ring that were what you would expect from a prize fighter. So they all had their different personalities, as you would expect, and different abilities to communicate. And people like them individually.
Okay. You know, I brought up Jim Lampley, and I'm going to go back a little further than that. Barry Tompkins. He and I were sitting together. Barry Tompkins, of course, was with the City College of San Francisco in 1968 when Channel 5 decided they were going to put a sports segment into their weekly, nightly news show. So he went from City College to Channel 5, which was a CBS channel then. Of course, went on to greater heights beyond that. But he told me that he was sitting with Seth Abraham, having a couple of drinks with Seth Abraham, and that Seth told him that when he was going to go off and do Wimbledon, that he was going to have Jim Lampley do the boxing. So Barry Tompkins says this was the exact quote. He said, well, Seth, he goes, if you're going to bring Jim in to do the boxing, why don't you let him do all the boxing? And evidently that's where Seth went after that, but Barry Tompkins said he shot himself in the head there. Do you know anything about that?
I didn't know that story, but obviously that was the direction they were going in, and you tried to self-pedal it, I guess, when you give somebody the news that somebody has taken his job. But to Barry's credit, and I like Barry a lot, he's still out there punching.
Yep.
He's still working shows for Showtime.
And, you know, his wife was Joan Ryan. She was an amazing journalist up here in Northern California. She wrote for the Chronicle, for the Examiner for the most part, before it went bankrupt in the Chronicle as well. She was an incredible writer, man. She could write sports. She could write general news. She was just an incredible writer. And, of course, Barry, I saw him. We were crossing paths in the airport, I guess about 3 or 4 months ago. And, you know, you're going on escalators, going in the opposite direction. It's just one of those things. You can't stop and make the connection. But there was Barry Tompkins looking great for his time, no doubt about that. Of all the guys you work for, though, of all the guys, who do you feel the closest to you? Who do you feel closest to? I mean, is there a bond between you and, was it Harold?
No, I liked Harold, and, you know, I like seeing all the guys around the fights and so forth. Actually, at this stage, I'm close closest to Seth Abraham, who was the vice president in charge of sports at HBO, and who really backed HBO in marketing and fights and making big matches and putting up a lot of money into the game. And he and I communicate a lot.
He was a good guy. He called me a minch. I didn't know what that was at first, and then I found out it was the ultimate compliment, so I thought that was sort of cool. Seth Abraham, is he still with MSG? What's he doing? Is he retired?
He's more or less retired. At the moment, he's in Australia.
Wow.
Where I think he has a goddaughter and was there for some kind of ceremony, and he does a lot of traveling, and he's got a couple of grandkids that live nearby him in Upper Manhattan, and he's engaged in other things that I don't know about, but
Godfather, let me tell you what he did one time. There was a Prince Nassim Ahmed fight with Vujani Bungu. It was going to take place in Wembley Stadium in London. And I guess I saw him about 2 months before, and Uncle Seth says to me, he goes, "Hey, Pedro, how'd you like to go to London?" And I didn't think nothing of it. I go, "Oh, sure, who wouldn't want to travel?" So guess what? I guess about 4 or 5 weeks later, this FedEx shows up, and there's 2 tickets, there's 2 airline tickets. I mean, Uncle Seth was the guy. When you talk to him on the phone, tell him nobody appreciated him more than I did. He was a great guy.
He was the kind of boss I wish I would be if I were the boss there. He was an inspiration to all of us, and really was responsible for how boxing influenced HBO and the sport itself.
The great Seth Abraham with Godfather Larry Merchant giving him, of course, the thumbs up, as do I. Straight up, Larry, say hello to the God Mama. Have a good week. We'll talk soon. Welcome home from Hawaii, sir.
Back at you, Pedro. Thank you.
The Hall of Famer, folks, the one, the only, the Godfather himself, Larry Merchant. Open phone lines around the planet. You can join us if you dare. 1-800-878-7529. That's 1-800-878-7529. Or the guilt-free, no-commitment text line. Text the studio. The number, 415-275-1613. That's 415-275-1613. And yeah, I'm trying to lose another 10 pounds so I can fat shame myself for another couple of weeks. I'm a fat guy. You're tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide.
How did I get up from the knockdowns? I don't know.
It's a thing you got to see. Hell, never do any damn thing to me. Sold me out for chicken change.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003. Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez.
You know, I was rapping Zab Judah a little bit earlier in the hour. Of course, Zab Judah, the kid from Brooklyn, New York, the Bronx, call it what you want. Of course, junior welterweight, 1996 Olympian. I mean, he was really a hot amateur, no doubt about that. I mean, he really was. And, of course, at one point in time, the 41-year-old Judah was a 140-pound champion. Of course, lost to Kostya Tszyu, and after the fight, he threw a stool across the ring at the referee that night. I think it was Jay Nady. Anyway, the bottom line is Zab hasn't been Zab in a long, long time, and last night, evidently, he had a fight with a guy by the name of Kletos Seldon on Friday night, and now he's in a hospital, and evidently he's got a brain bleed. So evidently they're going to not give any releases on his condition until Tuesday. So what am I trying to tell you? Zab, they say he's got a brain bleed. I think what they're trying to say is that Zab Judah will not be here next week. I'm hoping that they're not saying that, but I think that's the writing on the wall. The Zab Judah is basically brain dead as I speak. Now, I may be jumping the gun. I've done it before, but that's just the way I see this, okay? From a policeman's point of view, an ex-policeman's point of view, an investigator's point of view, and a fighter's point of view, that's what I think I see in that fact that they're not going to make any statements until Tuesday, considering this is Sunday, and they made that statement on Saturday, okay? So what I think they're going to spend is they're going to spend a couple of days and see if he somehow reconnects. And if he doesn't reconnect, they're going to pull the plug, I think, on the 41-year-old Zab Judah. Sorry to say that, but the reality is true.
Your inside look into boxing and mixed martial arts.
What the hell's going on out here?
Heard live around the world and brought to you by the World Boxing Organization.
Yeah.
And now, live from the Ring Talk Studios in San Francisco, here's the host of the longest-running fight show in history.
Down goes Frazier! Down goes Frazier! And Foreman is as poised as can be!
Pedro Fernandez.
Damas y caballeros, bienvenidos, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the multi-million-dollar Sports Byline Studios in the City by the Bay, San Francisco, California. Check it, sports fans. This is Ring Talk live worldwide. My name is Pedro Fernandez. Of course, the often imitated but hardly duplicated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the radio airways. Straight up, we're talking boxing and mixed martial arts this hour on Sports Byline, of course, on iHeartRadio. Got to tell you this, we've got open phone lines. Anthony joined us in hour number 1. You can join us in hour number 2 if you'd like. That's right, 2 hours of Ring Talk live worldwide, Sunday edition, 11 a.m. Pacific time, for 2 hours live on Sports Byline. You can join us on the toll-free if you like at 1-800-878-7529. That's 1-800-878-7529. Of course, the guilt-free, no-commitment text line. Text the studio if you'd like. Number 415-275-1613. That's 415-275-1613. Well, the big heavyweight news, Deontay Wilder is defending the heavyweight championship, his WBC version against Are you ready? Luis Ortiz. Yeah, without steroids. Luis Ortiz on steroids could fight a little bit. The guy's like 38, and Mitzi's like 40 now. He's 40. He was 38 when they fought the first time. He's 40 years old now. 40 going on 90. You hear what I'm saying? If he was in Cuba, he'd be having gray hair. He'd be kicking back, smoking those big fat cigars, okay? He's not in Cuba. He's fronting himself off as a heavyweight contender, or in this case, a heavyweight challenger. He's older than dirt. Deontay Wilder should be ashamed of himself. But after that, he says it's Tyson Fury. And so does Tyson Fury. He says it'll be Deontay Wilder after Tom Schwartz. We'll see if that comes to fruition. You are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Lots of UFC action. We'll check that out in our next segment of Ring Talk Live Worldwide when I bring in the undefeated lad from Las Vegas to talk about John Signorella. You're tuned to Ring Talk Live on Sports Byline.
Well, before you do anything rash, dig this. Everybody plays the fool sometimes.
I've recently discovered the powerful health benefits of CBD oil. I have been using New Leaf Naturals CBD oil for some time now, and I love it. CBD oil is non-intoxicating, which makes it ideal for people like me. I want the health benefits of cannabinoids, but I don't smoke weed. I never will smoke weed. Mind-altering effects I do not need. CBD is non-toxic, has potent pain relieving, and is anti-inflammatory with its properties as well, and that's why the brand I trust the most is New Leaf Naturals. New Leaf Naturals is the highest quality CBD oil on the market, 100% organic, highly concentrated, no additives, grown in the U.S. The only ingredient is hemp. It is pure and simple. Go to newleafnaturals.com. That's nuleafnaturals.com. Save 30% and receive free shipping in the U.S. when you use the promo code RICK. That's right, RICK. Go to nuleafnaturals.com, promo code RICK.
I was looking for a better way to check in on our house while I was at work, and a friend recommended Blink. I was skeptical, but decided to give it a shot, and I bought a Blink camera system. With our last security system,
false alarms, wires everywhere, and monthly fees we couldn't get out of.
My bad, but our Blink system is different. They're motion-activated cameras that work inside and outside. They're wire-free, easy to set up, and they run on 2 lithium batteries that last up to 2 years.
Total peace of mind. And Blink camera systems start at under $80 with no subscriptions.
We were on vacation, and I got an alert on my smartphone that motion was detected at our front door. I checked my Blink app, and I saw it was just my cool new device being delivered.
Hey, we agreed no new devices except Blink.
Just kidding. Not kidding.
With Blink camera systems starting under $80, home security just got easier. Go to blinkprotect.com/secure. 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 Blink is an Amazon company, and it works with Alexa.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Now, back to Pedro Fernandez with the MMA Hour.
You are tuned to the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network, Ring Talk Live Worldwide, coming at you, of course, Saturdays and Sundays on the Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Wow. Talking mixed martial arts, MMA Hour. Of course, UFC Rock and Roll and UFC 238. Now in the rearview mirror, of course, the United Center, Chicago, Illinois, as it was the main event. Henry Cejudo, what can I say? The best fighter, pound for pound, in all of mixed martial arts. Why do I say that? Olympic gold medalist. He wins the 125-pound crown after being trounced the first time by Demetrius Johnson. What happens? He comes back, he gets his act together, and he doesn't. When he took the first fight with Johnson, I think he only had one fight with the UFC, or maybe that was his first fight with the UFC. In other words, he was being brought in as lunch meat with a 2008 Olympic gold medal. Okay, guess what? The kid didn't take too much punishment, lost a fight with Johnson, came back, beat Johnson, who was then considered pound for pound the best in the world at this 125-pound weight division they're trying to get rid of. And then, of course, he becomes champion, and then Dana White wants to get rid of the 125-pound weight class, so he brings T.J. Dillashaw down from 135 pounds to 125, the cheater that he is, and Henry Cejudo licks him like a stamp. Last night, it was Martin Moraes. Straight up, this is what Henry had to say post-fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 51 seconds of round number 3. Declaring the winner by TKO and new undisputed UFC bantamweight champion of the world, Henry the Messenger Cejudo.
I'm here with the winner and new bantamweight champion and the current champ.
No, I'm not champ, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Triple C, Olympic champion, flyweight champion of the world, and now bantamweight champion of the world. I am the greatest combat athlete of all time, and I just stole the title for the best pound-for-pound fighter, too.
You get no argument from me, sir. You had a difficult first round. You were getting kicked in the legs. You made adjustments in the second round. Give us your thoughts on what your mindset was going into that second round.
Well, I was fighting adversity, as you guys heard. In media day, they had asked me. I had sprained my left ankle, and I couldn't do much, but I still wanted to fight. Very severely, a bad sprain. I taped it up, which is something that I've never done before. I take that back. I had to deal with that adversity with Demetrius Johnson. And I stuck to it, Joe. I believed in my team, Captain Coach, Captain America, who is not only my pound-for-pound king now, but I want to introduce you guys to the 2019 Coach of the Year, Captain Eric Alberto. Thank you, brother.
Give me your thoughts on what was going on in between rounds. You had a bad first round. Moraes was doing very well from the outside with the kicks, particularly to the legs, but you made a big adjustment.
That was all desire. I knew Marlon was throwing a lot of power, and eventually when you throw that much power, you're going to get burned. He threw too much of it. I stayed my composure. I stayed active, and that's all there was to it. I knew it was a dogfight. It was going to be a dogfight, and now I'm the UFC bantamweight champion of the world.
What did you see in the second round that led to the shift?
His demeanor. His demeanor showed everything. We're in the game of poker, and when I saw his demeanor change, when I saw him start to drop his arms, I knew that it was time to eat.
Henry, that was a truly, truly sensational performance. It was an honor to call your fight. Congratulations on not just becoming the flyweight champion and the bantamweight champion, but also the first man to ever hold an Olympic gold medal and two world titles, and a very good argument for the greatest combat sport athlete of all time. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on, Joe. Mr. Dana White, wherever you are, I have a hit list. But I want to start getting paid. I want to start making heavyweight money. I'm gonna give you guys that list right now, because I'm a prize fighter, Joe. For all you 135 pounders, I'm gonna call out people personally. Dominic Cruz, Cody Garbrandt, Uriah Faber. At 145 pounds, I would like to eventually go up another weight class and solidify another belt too.
That would be sensational, sir. Again, it was an honor to call your fight. Congratulations. You're absolutely one of the best of all time. Henry Cejudo!
What can I say, folks? Yes, it was predicted. And the saddest man in the house was not the man that lost, Martin Reyes. No, the saddest man in the house was Dana White. If I've ever seen a guy that looked more dejected when he put those two belts on Henry Cejudo's shoulders than Dana White, I've never in my life seen a man look that. It looked like they had castrated him there, right there in the octagon. He's putting on some phony smile in the corner, but the bottom line is when he walked up on Henry and put those belts on his shoulder, he was pissed off. Dana White is not a poker player. You heard Henry talking about playing poker. Dana White's not a poker player. You can see his emotions right on his face, and he was pissed off. Straight up, we take it to the undefeated lad in Las Vegas, Nevada, of course. What can you say about Henry Cejudo except Olympic gold medal, 2 titles now, 125, 135? The guy was written off after the first Demetrius Johnson loss. I mean, Johnny, pound for pound, he might be the king of MMA.
Absolutely, and he looks better and better in every single fight. Those knee strikes, those Muay Thai knee strikes last night to the dome of Moraes were nasty, man. I'm sitting there cringing watching this thing. I'm saying to myself, I'm watching a guy in Henry Cejudo grow in every single fight, and then he gets him down to the ground. He gets Marlon down to the ground, does the old-fashioned ground and pound, and it just keeps going. I'm like, ref, whenever you want to pull the plug on this, and it just keeps going. I'm like, no, please no more. So thankfully, nobody got seriously hurt there. But hey, man, all the respect to Henry Cejudo. I think he's definitely among the top, right next to Khabib, the face of the UFC right now.
Okay. That wrestling base of his, the fact he was in 2008 Olympic gold medalist, the fact he really didn't take any head trauma and punishment because, amateur wrestling, you don't get slapped around the head all that much. What I'm saying, so there's less mileage on him as a fighter. Do you think that's going to really carry him to a longer or to a legacy per se? Because in the world of the UFC, there's so many death matches. I mean, look what they did to that girl Rose Namajunas after she beat one of the best fighters pound for pound 2 fights in a row that sent her down to Brazil to get licked. I mean, they weren't doing Rose any favors. Dana White's Dana White's a creep in my mind, but go on.
Well, for me, it's like Dana White doesn't like this guy for whatever reason. And I think he's shooting himself in the foot there because he's got a superstar in the making with what we've seen with Cejudo and what he's capable of doing inside that octagon. So he might try to have him run this insane gauntlet, meaning Dana White, have Henry, run this insane gauntlet where he's got to fight all these guys and, go through hell and have these death matches, as we call them. He did speak of, in Henry, about moving up in weight.
Yikes.
I would say, I'm going to pump the brakes on that. You got a lot of guys there. Jose Aldo, even though Brian Ortega was damaged in his last fight badly, we haven't seen him fight since then. There's guys there, Frankie Edgar, Max Holloway. We got to calm down with that, I think. Let him do his thing at 135. He talked about a couple guys there that I would like to see him go against and then move up. But Dana right now is, licking his lips at that one. No, move up, because he knows he's going to have some difficulty there, and that would be that gauntlet of death matches.
Brian Ortega will never be the same. Brian Ortega, I don't care what you see. That was one of the most horrific beatings in the history of mixed martial arts, of not combat sports, and that was horrific.
I hated watching that, and he's such an articulate kid, good-looking kid, great for the sport. I thought he was going to be the next poster child face of the UFC, and someone else had something to say about that. And I tell you what, man, those are the type of fights that you can't really recover from. And I don't think it's the fighter's fault. Yeah, he wasn't the better man that night, but the corner people should have been the better people that night and saved this man from himself. That fight went on 2 rounds, way too long.
You're tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. We're talking mixed martial arts, folks. We'll hear from Tony Ferguson, the enraged and engaged former interim lightweight champion. Of course, a man at 155 who hasn't been beaten in a long time. He's a pretty scary guy, but he stole something from the John Insigniero. John, do you sprinkle holy water on the old lady? Johnny, you there?
I'm here.
I said, you sprinkle holy water on the old lady?
No, who does that sort of thing? Guys, never do that out there. Be nice to your ladies, guys. Come on.
I was joking. I thought I'd throw a joke in there. Bottom line is we'll hear from Tony Ferguson after the break. You're tuned to the Mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network.
You're listening to the MMA Hour.
Mr. Dana White, wherever you are, I have a hit list, but I want to start getting paid. I want to start making heavyweight money.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Attention, this important consumer alert is brought to you by Annuity Action Network. Hey, did you know it's possible to receive upfront money from your monthly settlement payments? It's true. If you receive monthly payments from an annuity or a structured settlement and you need a lump sum immediately, then you need to call Annuity Action Network. With your cash today, you can pay off credit card debt, pay medical bills, fund your education, or improve your home. You don't need to wait. Call the Annuity Action Network now to get your fast cash with no hidden costs. And if you call today, we'll even send you a $100 cash gift card just for verifying your settlement payments and your contact information. If you have a structured settlement or an annuity and you want cash now, call Annuity Action Network right now.
800-514-9170. 800-514-9170. That's 800-514-9170.
Did he hurt you or your children?
No.
No, you're okay.
Doing really just random stuff, like he puts holy water on me. I don't know what's going on with him.
Are you going to stop somewhere and meet with the police so they can talk to you?
Should I go to the police station?
Now, more of the MMA Hour with Pedro Fernandez.
Tony Ferguson, bad dude, pound for pound, one of the better fighters in the world of mixed martial arts without a doubt. Former lightweight champion, of course, had some serious injuries, came back from the injuries, evidently has some emotional issues as well. We're not going to get into them right now. We'll just stick with the fighting aspect of it. But, he and Donald Cerrone, Johnny, I got to tell you, those guys are going back and forth, and Cerrone's got to be the most gracious, humble guy I've ever come across in the world of fighting, be it cage fighting, be it boxing, be it Muay Thai, you name it. He's just a classy dude, a homeboy.
There is no doubt about that.
I mean, the way he took that loss against Tony Ferguson, his eye was closed, and it was a fight that he was in. And of course, tell me, what do you think Tony Ferguson stands with Khabib? I mean, Khabib and Tony Ferguson, that's going to be eventually the match. They want to put together UFC. Where do you see that?
That would be an interesting fight. And real quick, my audio went out. I just want to say something about Donald Cerrone last night. That eye was ridiculous, guys. He looked like he was in so much pain, and he still wanted to go. And we'll say this, we were just talking about his class, man. Class in stones for days. Salute to Donald Cerrone. As far as Tony Ferguson goes against Khabib, I mean, Ferguson's a very good striker. He's a very good cage fighter overall. I just think Khabib's got this thing about him right now, this skill set that's very unique in the cage where, he could choke you out, he could strike with you, he could do things that I haven't really ever seen guys do. And also, he's very intimidating. He got this aura about him that I think even takes the most cool and calculated opponent that's against him and makes him kind of quiver, makes him kind of like feel a little bit uneasy. So I would have to favor Khabib, and based on what I've seen with Ferguson and the neurological thing, and we didn't really want to go there, I'm not going to go there too heavily, I got to favor a guy like Khabib who seems like he's in his prime, both mentally and physically.
Here's Tony and Cerrone post-fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of round 2, the doctor has called a stop to this contest, declaring the winner by TKO, Tony El Couture Ferguson.
I'm here with the winner, Tony Ferguson. Tony, an unfortunate end to the fight, but a spectacular performance up until that moment, particularly in the second round where you really seemed to start to take over. Give us your thoughts on the fight and how it ended.
Talk to Cowboy.
Cowboy, there was a punch after the round. It hit you in the nose. You blew your nose, which is something you're never supposed to do, and your eyes swelled up. Give us your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I just asked if they could push the air back down. That's all I want. The punch had nothing to do with it. That was a fight I think everybody wanted. I'm so sorry. I don't quit. I don't back down. And, man, I just wanted to keep fighting. I was just asking, can you just push the air back down? And you're right, I shouldn't have blown my nose. I'm a veteran, I'm old school, and I should have known that. But I did, and I humbly couldn't finish the fight, and I apologize.
Well, Donald, even in a loss, you're a gentleman and a warrior. It was an honor to watch your fight, and we will see you again, my friend. Donald Cerrone, ladies and gentlemen. Tony, I know this is not how you wanted the fight to end, but this leaves you in a position. I know this is not how you wanted the fight to end, but this leaves you in a number 1 contender position. So please give us your thoughts on where that stands.
Let them get their boots in. It's not how I wanted the fight to go. It was a really emotional year. There's a lot. I mean, it's fighting here. Just a lot of emotions flaring. There's no words I can express it. I don't like to win that way. We could throw it back. I don't mind doing that. I really don't. He's a hell of a fighter. Hats off to Cowboy Cerrone and his team. Thank you for taking the opportunity right after an immediate fight. I want to say thank you, fans from Chicago. Thank you guys for coming here. I don't want to win like that. I know better than that. I'm a better person than that. I'm a better fighter than that. I can give who's next. I don't give two. I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm going to look at this and be pissed at myself for a long time. Hats off to Cowboy Cerrone, like I said, and his family. We went out here. I hope you guys enjoyed at least the first couple fights, man.
Besides the bad ending, congratulations on an excellent performance. Tony Ferguson, ladies and gentlemen.
How do you react to Tony Ferguson there? He was sort of like humble. He was sort of like gracious. He was sort of like cocky. He was sort of like all over like a pinball in a pinball machine.
Yeah, there was a lot of he was being classy, then he was throwing a lot of F-bombs out there, and he was going back and forth with his emotions, the way I was reading the trajectory of how he was using his sentences and stuff. I'm listening closely whenever he talks now, because I'm trying to see the signs, and not to go there. I don't want to go there today. But, I mean, you got to listen to him. You got to follow what's going on based on, of course, the police reports and all that kind of stuff. But we see where Tony Ferguson goes. But I tell you what, Pedro, Valentina Shevchenko last night, kicking Jessica Ai. I mean, that shin to the dome last night, man. I felt so bad for that poor girl, Jessica Ai, man. When she took that kick and you saw it come, a nice roundhouse, I thought the foot was going to catch her, which would have sucked for Jessica, but it was the shin. Oh, no. When I saw that from a different angle, I was like, oh, wait a minute. That wasn't the foot. That was the shin, and that's like the worst possible place you could get hit from a kick, to the temple or on top of your head, except for the knee or an elbow strike. I mean, that was so bad.
It looked a lot like Jimmy Manua get knocked out last week as well, and they both went the same way. But I'm glad you brought that up because they both had their hands up in a boxer's position. They wouldn't have got clipped by those kicks. They would have got kicked in the arm. And the bottom line is they didn't have their hands up, man. Their hands were down, and their faces and their chins were exposed, and they got knocked the duck out.
It's a good point, and I believe that Jessica was trying to shoot in for a body punch, which also dropped her guard. And then that's what happens when you go down to the body, whether boxing or mixed martial arts, you're going to drop your guard and get a little vulnerable, But at the end of the day, it's like with mixed martial arts, it's so hard to keep your head protected at all times because you're looking for takedowns, you're looking for, shin kicks, you're looking for all different types of things. And this is a scenario where it's like the worst possible scenario happens and you're totally exposed and vulnerable and it was lights out. But hopefully Jessica's okay today.
Could you see Henry Cejudo walking from the UFC? In other words, like going over to Bellator and just saying, you know what, man, you guys treat me like dog doo-doo. You guys really don't like me. You don't want me here, this and that. Let me take my act somewhere else. I mean, not that he's going to get the absolute best competition maybe over there in Bellator, but he'd be able to be Henry.
Well, money talks, and if there's, if they have guys over there that they'd be willing to pay for him to come over, and if the UFC keeps treating him like this, and I said this about Khabib in the past, I know we're talking right now about Cejudo, but I had mentioned this about Khabib, with the Conor McGregor drama and all that kind of stuff, that, hey man, if the UFC is going to treat him like dog doo-doo, go to another spot. You could go someplace else. You could take the show on the road, in other words. If Cejudo could do that, it's got to pay, in other words. You got to be able to be paid. And right now the UFC, I hate to say this, probably is, the most profitable for Henry Cejudo right now, even though they pay like crap.
But some guys say it's better to get the spotlight while you can get it and get some. In Bellator, they don't throw you in death match after death match. They try to build people.
No, as they should, and they need to do that because they use a lot of old school cats, a lot of old school former UFC guys that the UFC discharged. And Bellator is decent. When it's good, like anything else, it's good, man. I enjoy it, but they definitely need younger stars, without a doubt. So if I was them, I would be leaning in the ears of Cejudo or a Khabib or anyone else out there that's younger and feels like they're being mistreated by the UFC.
Speaking of Khabib, September the 7th in Dubai, I've been there. It's a hellhole. You never want to go to Dubai, folks. You don't want to go to Dubai. Of all the places in the world you want to go, Dubai is like spit with an H. I'm just telling you. If you want to go there and look at a big building, that's all they got. One big building, it's all over. Through 10 seconds, your trip to Dubai is over. Anyway, Abu Dhabi, September 7th, Khabib taking on Dustin Poirier, I guess, for the interim championship and the real championship. Bottom line is, Khabib's favored over anybody on the planet, right?
Yeah, Poirier's a good fighter, but I would say he's definitely a heavy favorite right now. Again, just because he does these things we've never really seen before. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just check him out. Check him out against Conor. Check him out against his past couple fights, man. He just looks better and better, and he's growing. He's got his own thing going on. And again, the intimidation factor, it's got that Mike Tyson type intimidation factor. But Mike was loud about it, talking about eating kids and stuff like that. The way Khabib comes in is cold, calculated, quiet, comes in like Darth Vader, right? And mysterious. And then you see this guy explode when he gets in that cage.
Good month. John Signorella, of course, the genius, the undefeated lad from Las Vegas, Nevada. Next up, we'll hear from Muhammad Ali and Howard Cosell in depth. That's right. These two guys, the two greatest sports personalities maybe of the 60s and the 70s. When it came to those guys who were like Abbott and Costello, or I don't know, you can't get a better act than Ali and Cosell. Straight up, Ali and Cosell in depth after the break. You are tuned to the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. Texas Studio, 415-275-1613. That's 415-275-1613. You're tuned to the Sports Byline Broadcast Network.
Should I go to the police station?
Yeah.
You're listening to the MMA Hour.
Decision now. Let's listen.
Clarity in the world of professional boxing is spelled WBO. That's right, the World Boxing Organization is boxing's only transparent sanctioned body. You can follow the WBO on Facebook or check out their website, WBOboxing.com. That's WBOboxing.com. The World Boxing Organization.
We have a new heavyweight champion of the world.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Do you have a problem hearing the television? Do you need to crank up the volume so loud your family is screaming at you? Then put on your TV ears. TV Ears has helped millions of people just like you hear TV loud and clear without cranking up the volume. For about $60 with a 30-day free trial, you can get your own set of TV Ears. When you wear TV Ears, you can mute the TV volume for private listening or let others watch TV with you. Order in the next 10 minutes and take us up on our 30-day home trial and very special price. TV Ears is a brand hearing professionals have trusted for more than 20 years. And through this special radio offer, you can get your very own for just $60. Just mention promo code RADIO. So put on your TV ears and make everyone happy. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. 800-984-4207. That's 800-984-4207.
I'm Rick Tittle, and I host the Video Game Review every Sunday night at 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight on the East Coast, right here on the Sports Byline USA Broadcast Network. Video games are way more important than your job, your school, or your relationship, so let's talk about them. Everything from the 2600 to the 360. I don't work for any video game company, so I'll tell you what's worth your money and what stinks. Also, cheat codes, interviews, your calls. I'll give away game release dates, all that and more every Sunday night right here on the Sports Byline USA Broadcast Network.
Now, back to Pedro Fernandez with the MMA Hour.
There is no greater tag team in all of sports, folks, than Muhammad Ali and Howard Cosell. Let's go back to 1973.
But I do want to bring on our first guest. He's a magnificent young man. Nobody else has aroused so much passion during the decade of the 60s. I have known him almost from the beginning. He came to New York first as a brash, arrogant, obnoxious youngster. Nothing about him has changed. Except for the palpable decline in his pugilistic skills, because once he was a very great fighter, now he is a worn relic of the past, a faded hero of yesteryear, living off weak opponents at the moment, but still mouthing words that he can no longer employ the skills to back up. I've traveled the world with him. I've seen him alienate nation after nation with his braggadocio. And he still proclaims to be that which he is no longer, the heavyweight champion of the world. So I am going to bring out, in all of the futility that emblazons his current efforts, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali.
I sat back there. Listen, I sat back there.
I sat back there and I listened to every word you said. Howard, every time you open your mouth, you should be arrested for air pollution. You give me more trouble. You give me more trouble than my opponents. Now, like, heard you were going to host a show, so I thought I would give you the honor of coming to talk with you. Now, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk with you, first of all, about the fact that you would still be in impoverished anonymity in this country if I hadn't made you famous.
Now, listen. Listen, no, he's awful serious. I mean, you told me you made Floyd Patterson popular, but you know yourself, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't really be who you are today. Because every time I fight, go to foreign countries, you would always be there. You never would have gotten to those countries if it wasn't me. And lately, you haven't been able to follow me because I understand your budget is much cheaper.
What was it you told me? Don't make so much of that football guy, Dandy Don. We're still the number one act. Is that what you told me when you were in training for Frazier?
When was that?
When you came to the pool at the Americana Hotel and said, "Where's the white guy giving me all the trouble?"
You Jewish.
I do want to find out about your recent antics. I want to know why you continue to fight opponents who are obviously not qualified to meet you.
Well, Howard, right now, it's a good question. And I think this is why people like you and like to hear us, because you say what you feel, I say what I feel. You ask me questions that some don't like, many want to hear. And you don't pull no punches. So I'm fighting the best men that are around for me to fight. I'm giving them all a chance. I could just sit down and I would say, wait for Joe Frazier, but Mac Foster, who I just fought, was ranked number 5 in the top 10 of the world. Here's a man who's been training all his life for the big time and probably never wouldn't have gotten the payday that he got if he hadn't fought me. Getting ready to fight, say, George Chuvalo, Canadian. All Canada's behind him. I'm sure I'll beat him. But he's having another shot at the title, and what's his name? The boy you criticized,
Buster Mathis.
Yes, who was the one who fought Joe Frazier for his so-called title during my.
Muhammad, we didn't criticize Mathis. We criticized you. You weren't in shape for the fight.
Well, if I wasn't in shape for the fight, Mathis didn't say I wasn't in shape. You said that somebody said...
Mathis, he collapsed from fatigue.
He collapsed. That was the 12th round. And a lot of people are saying that I'm not in shape for my fights, but how much more shape do I have to be in? I'm still unscratched. I'm prettier than you, and you're a sports announcer. I know I'm prettier than you. If you look at me and look at you, I look better than you, and you don't box. So what type shape do I have to be in? I win all of my fights. I would ask you this.
Can you do me a favor? Stand up and take your jacket off. I want the public to see that belly.
Let me ask you a question. Just ask you a question. Let's pretend it's my show for 1 minute. All right.
It's a disaster.
Would you say
already.
that when I fought, say, all of the fellas that I've been fighting lately, would you say that they were in shape?
Yeah, except for Mathis. He didn't look real good to me.
Well, how did he go 12 rounds with me?
Because you weren't doing anything. You were slow-footed, the hand and foot speed gone, the trick. As your manager, Angelo Dundee, your trainer sitting right there, told me earlier, I don't know what we're going to do to get the lad serious.
Look, Joe Frazier, I wasn't in shape when I fought Frazier, many of them said. I was off 3 years. But yet it was Joe Frazier who had to be under intensive care for 1 month. When I fought Mac Foster, I was 226. They say the heaviest of my career. Mac Foster the other day just got out of the hospital in Japan. They wouldn't let him leave the country. Everybody I'm fighting lately is ending up in the hospitals. I'm unscratched. I'm unmarked. I'm overweight. I'm fat. But yet I'm always winning. And what? If I get in shape, it'll be a murder, wouldn't it?
As a matter of fact, your record for knockouts, I mean one-punch knockouts, is absolutely non-existent. You lack the killer instinct.
Only one time.
You no longer have the hand and the foot speed. You're overweight. You're not serious about your profession. And a decision is about to be made by Angelo Dundee no longer to handle you. Is that right, Angelo?
Why would you? Is this true, Angelo? Why would you? He's trying to cause dissension. I'm on him, and he's trying to put me on Angelo. But let me tell
What's your evaluation of the men Frazier's fighting? Terry Daniels, Ron Stanley.
I think Frazier's in a position where, when you're the champion, like he is, you have to fight anybody, but you have to be paid for it. And the college boy just fought Terry Daniels. Somebody put up the money, which was sufficient. And who's he fighting? The next fight?
Ron Stander, a heralded pugilist from Omaha, Nebraska.
Yes, but somebody thinks enough of it to put up probably $250,000. So who are we to complain when somebody thinks enough of him to put up $250,000? And Frazier would be out of his mind if he didn't take it, because he's in it for a living. He's got a big family.
All
so
right,
I can't criticize
final
his opponents.
question, because then I want to go to the audience for questions. Do you think Frazier is ducking you on the rematch? You guys can't fight again unless you fight the Jack Kent Cook, and he wants it in September.
I think he is. I think he's ducking because, like, I'm busy. Frazier, like, I have 7 more fights lined up in various countries, including Russia, of all places, if Frazier don't fight. But I think that Frazier's still recuperating from the physical punishment he took, as quiet as his kept. And I think that they're picking opponents for him. They can't really hit him in his head too hard, because the 2 fellas he's fighting, I think if I fought them, I'd be running out of the country. I wouldn't fight them. But at least the fellas I'm fighting are much better, but you at least heard of George Chuvalo, you heard of James Ellis, you heard of Buster Mathis, you heard of Jurgen Blinn. So what I'm going to say, Mac Foster.
Jurgen Blinn, hair cheesecake.
I think as soon as Frazier really recuperates, he knows where my manager is, his manager know how to contact me, and as soon as they're physically in shape, I think they'll be ready.
All right, these folks, I would think, would want to ask you some questions, and we're going to give them the opportunity to ask us both questions. We'll be back right after these. I think maybe you're about to face some people who'll prove tougher than Frazier for you, Muhammad. You up to the challenge?
No, I'm ready. These are all my people. They recognize who the real champion is.
All right, let's begin. We'll call upon you as you raise your hands. Let's begin with this lady in the blue dress right there.
Since you are vocal and you are a philosopher, do you have any political ambition?
No, I don't. I don't have no political ambitions. No, I don't. I don't control it. I don't write the books, and the problems that I'm confronting with politics have played no part in them.
That gentleman back there.
Do you think you would have won the Frazier fight had you not messed around in the 7th and 8th rounds?
I think I played around for 4 or 5 rounds that I shouldn't have, and I lost the 11th round. He shook me up completely. And the 15th round, he didn't shake me up like the 11th round, but he knocked me down. And I was right up at the count of 3, but you lose a round when you're knocked down. So I know at least 6 rounds that I lost, but I think I won 9. I think that if the fight was judged round by round, punch by punch, and compared to the physical damage done to both fighters, there wouldn't have been no doubt that I won. But since the tax situation being like it is, it ain't really bad that we get 2 chances.
This gentleman right here.
Have you ever had any regrets about not going into the Army?
Not really, no.
Mr. Cosell, I'd like to know what Joe Namath is really like.
What Joe Namath is really like? He's a sensitive young man, very bright, who's got a great deal of charisma. He and the gentleman to my right are the 2 great name stars of their time. They fill a room by their very presence. He's also a swinger, and he likes young women who look like you. This young lady right here. Hold on till we get that film over there.
Have you ever been an athlete?
Have I ever been an athlete? Depends upon the form, dear. But I was all Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn and stickball for 7 years.
Were you ever in top physical condition now? Can you judge
So how
him?
can you say he wasn't in
Was I ever in top physical condition?
Can you judge him?
Let me tell you something. In May of 1966, when Ali was about to go against Henry Cooper for the 2nd time and was in training over there, I trained Cooper in the Thomas A. Beckett gym. Bar, that's what it really was, a British pub up on the 2nd floor. Cooper's manager, Jimmy Wick, saw me work out, and said, "You should fight Ali, not my man." He was right.
Mr. Cosell, I'd like to know if you think that the Heisman Trophy, as it stands now, being always given to someone in the offensive backfield, is turning into a farce, the way they gave it out to
I
Pat
expressed
Sullivan.
myself in that regard at the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga branch, some months ago. Heisman Trophy is a farce for many reasons. It's voted upon by a massive number of sports writers who in most cases haven't even seen the players play for whom they're voting. That's item number one. Item number two is that backs can't be compared with defensive linemen. There is no yardstick for measurement. Differences of position require different skills. Item number three, no player from a black college has ever gotten a single vote for the Heisman Trophy. Look at the roster of professional football. Leroy Kelly, Morgan State. Willie Davis, the great Green Bay end, number 87 of the past, from Grambling. Bud Buchanan from Grambling. How in the world do you have anything with meaning when players like these have never even gotten a single vote? I think it's a farce. This gentleman in the striped shirt.
Mohammed, is Howard really your friend?
Is Howard my friend?
Yeah, is he really your friend?
Next question. Well, I'll tell you.
Should we tell him the truth?
Howard Cosell is a man of his profession, and he's tops in the business. And same with me and mine. And he's independent, I'm independent. He don't need me, and I don't need him. He speaks his piece, I speak mine. He respects me, I respect him. But I can't say he's my friend.
How long would he last in the ring with you?
How long would he last? You mean how hard would the blow have to be? Listen, Howard Cosell he's a good man with his brains. He's not a fighter. And in the long run, he proves to be more successful than most fighters. He uses his brains.
Do you think there should be a gate in the ring for him to run out in case, you know what I mean? An escape route when he fights you?
No, he's one of the best men in the sport announcing field, and I miss him when he's not at ringside promoting my fights, because he and I makes a good team. But one day I promise to slap him.
The gentleman in the rear row.
Howard, I'd like to address a question to you, if I may. Did you enjoy the banquet we attended together in Columbus, Ohio in January? Just the past January?
Very much. I'd like to say publicly, I think the best annual football banquet in the country is the one conducted by the Columbus Touchdown Club. You mean the one that Dandy Don and Humble Howard both MC?
The one we just attended in January. I'd like to ask one of Muhammad. The fact, no matter what they say, Muhammad, I still think you're a champion.
The great Howard Cosell and Muhammad Ali getting it together, chopping it up, baby. That's what you call chopping it up 1970 style. You're tuned to the Sports Byline Broadcast Network.
You're listening to the MMA Hour.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003. Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number, 800-603-0885, 800-603-0885, 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Now, more of Ring Talk with Pedro Fernandez. Johnny Sig, what's the YouTube page?
Ring Talk Worldwide. Search us. You can see archive shows, hear archive shows, and much, much more.
Good enough, the great John Signorello. You have been tuned to the mighty Ring Talk Live Worldwide show. Of course, 35-plus years now of radio presence. Wanted to mention we had a special Friday night. We were supposed to see a great guitarist here in the Bay Area. Talking about Jose Cruz. He was ill. He couldn't attend. But Edgar Mayorga showed up. Part-time boxer, legendary street fighter, an incredibly gifted street fighter. If MMA were alive, I think back then, Edgar would have been the guy. Bottom line is, got to see him and a few other friends. I want to thank my great friend Hector Martinez for bringing Edgar to the show. Bottom line is, you are tuned to Ring Talk Live Worldwide, 35-plus years now. Let me give you my radio schedule here on Sports Byline. Saturdays and Sundays, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. Saturday for an hour of Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Sunday for 2 hours of Ring Talk Live Worldwide. Then there's a Saturday night show, the Johnny Taco Audio Magazine, which airs at 10 p.m. Pacific Time. That's 1 a.m. East Time, Sunday mornings right here on Sports Byline. And, of course, No Holds Barred, 5 p.m. Pacific Time each and every Sunday right here on the mighty Sports Byline Broadcast Network. The executive producer is the one, the only Scott Cuddy. Until next time, peace, love, and a ton of respect.